Weiß Bescheid. Intendo.
Welcome to all Caribbean entrepreneurs. If you've been ready and waiting to take your business digital and get paid online while you sip something strong on the beach, this podcast is for you. We'll hear from the Caribbean's finest entrepreneurs on topics like e-commerce, business development, brand building, social media, their wins and failures. This is the only place in the region helping you navigate the digital age from the Caribbean's perspective. This is Digipreneur FM. And now, let's give it up for the Digiboss himself, Mr. Karan Rose.
Thank you, everybody tuning in live to the taping of the Digipreneur FM podcast. You know, it is Monday, June 28th, and I decided I wanted to have a little bit of fun. This was an episode that I wanted to record actually earlier on in the daytime, but you know, life happens, meetings happens, and I had to go and take a nap. And when I woke up, I was like, you know what? Let's have some fun. Let me go live with the Instagram family and record the episode for the 4 keys to Caribbean e-commerce. And I mean, this isn't limited to how e-commerce works within the Caribbean, but this is how e-commerce typically works at a most basic level anywhere in the world. But I like to bring it home for my Caribbean entrepreneurs and those in diaspora that are tuning in, because we need to understand fully how this thing works to be able to take advantage of it, all right? We really need to level up, understand how the digital age works to be able to navigate through these times. Once we get our businesses online, we're going to be able to participate in the global economy. So understanding, some of the key basics and the pillars of e-commerce is critical, because then you can now further investigate, what makes sense for your business and what different platforms, softwares, companies you need to work with in each of these pillars to be able to take your business online and participate in the global economy. That being said, let's dive into today's episode. This is episode number 8. This is the 4 keys to Caribbean e-commerce. I hope you guys are ready, folks. We got a good even episode. So the first pillar for the key to Caribbean e-commerce is number 1, understanding Visa debit cards. This is something that up until December 2020, all of the banks had not rolled out as yet. Scotiabank had the first Visa debit card rolled out in Trinidad and Tobago. They had that rolled out in October 2019, followed by SCB. SCB rolled theirs out April 2020, and then Republic and RBC rolled out their Visa debit cards in December of 2020. Now, why is that significant? Now, if you are in the US, Canada, the UK, I mean, we've had Visa debit cards since I was in high school. It's been over 10 years since we've had these Visa debit cards, and they really changed the game, because what it allowed people to do is it replaced your standard bank card with a Visa secured or Visa pinned card, and that card allowed you to go online and be able to make purchases. Now, here in Trinidad, the credit card penetration rate as of the central bank is at about 15%. 15% of the entire country has a credit card. And that doesn't account, or I should say it does account for people that have multiple cards. So of that 15%, there are people in that 15% that have multiple credit cards. So what that means is that without these Visa-enabled debit cards, the amount of people that have been able to come onto your website and shop from you online, or if you were a service provider and you're sending a digital invoice, the amount of people that can actually pay you is very limited without these Visa-enabled cards. So now that the banks have been switching over everybody's standard Links card to these new Visa debit cards, that means that people can go onto your website, add to cart, use their regular bank card, their new Links Visa debit card, and make the purchases on your website. Or if you were to send them a digital invoice, then they can use their bank card to pay you as well. So the pool of eligible people that can now shop online in your business here in Trinidad has ballooned, and it has only ballooned as of December of last year. So these Visa debit cards are a very big deal. I was having some conversations with some colleagues over in Barbados, and Barbados is going through the same thing. They're going through the same rollout as well, rolling out their Visa debit cards. Other parts of the Caribbean islands have had it over the past couple of years, and they are enabled to shop online, especially within the local e-commerce space, right? So the more people that have these Links Visa debit cards means that their regular bank cards can be used to shop on your platform. That's critical, because if people do not have a card and they cannot shop on your website, because they don't have that mechanism, then whether you have a website or not, if it's enabled with e-commerce or not, if nobody can pay you, then they can't pay you. And then you have people that will come out and say, well, that's what they've been waiting for, because trying to tell people to get a website before and tell them about e-commerce and people can shop on your website, a lot of business owners came back and said, yeah, but nobody has a credit card. So if nobody has a credit card, why would I have a website? Why would I not just use social media to list out my products for free? Why would I invest in a website? So it's been a bit of a chicken and egg situation for some time in the Caribbean, all right? So that is why these Visa debit cards are so critical. And what you guys need to start doing, you as Caribbean business owners, wherever you are in the region, you need to take stock. You need to put some emphasis on educating your clients how to do business with you. I started preaching to people about what these Visa debit cards can do, not because the banks pay me. The banks don't pay me. I mean, they pay me for other things, but they don't pay me to talk about that. But they don't pay me to talk about Visa debit cards. The reason I started to talk about Visa debit cards is because with my business and you being able to go on my websites and order products or pay my invoices digitally, I would always tell people, well, you can use these new cards to shop on the website. And the more my clients understood that they could use their cards and they would just debit the money from their bank accounts, then they would go on to my website and they would shop. So I simply started talking off about Visa debit cards just to educate my consumers on how to do business with me. That is something that I encourage every single business owner to start educating people on. Educate people on how to do business with you. And if you are a business that has a website or you are a service provider and you are sending out things like digital invoices, if you're sending out pay links, you want to educate people on the Visa debit card so that you remove that barrier for them to pay you. Because I tell you this, I don't want to hear about how somebody can't pay me. That is the one objection I never want to hear about. I try to educate everybody on all of these different ways to be able to pay me so that there is no friction for payment. Because in the Caribbean, these things are relatively new. Visa debit cards only came out, last year. And they only turned it on. Like FCB only turned on the online side of purchasing in December. RBC, Republic, again, only launched their cards in December of last year. It's only been about 6 months, 7 months. All right, so these things are new. The culture is in transition, and the business owners need to be able to understand how this whole process works and educate your own clients on how to do business with you. Let them know the importance of these new Visa debit cards, because there are still people who have not switched over their cards because they're like, nah, I don't want to switch my card. That just means the banks are going to take up more fees. No, it's a standard replacement of your card. You can choose whether to use it online or not. All right. So that is the first pillar to Caribbean e-commerce is is Visa debit cards. Your clients need to have a mechanism to pay you online. I encourage all business owners for you guys to be able to educate your own clients so that they know how to do business with you. Ultimately, don't wait for the banks to educate your customers. If you are waiting for the banks to educate the region or educate the consumer base on how to use these cards, you'll be waiting for a long time. You have to keep in mind, folks, again, the majority of you that tune into my content are all business owners. The people working in the banks are not business owners. The people working in these companies are not entrepreneurs. They don't care nor need to care or understand how this stuff affects your business. They are there at their job. All right? For you, this stuff affects your business. It affects how you earn. Make sure you guys understand this stuff. Make sure you understand what Visa debits can do. That way you can educate your customers. And when you build your websites or you're sending out digital invoices or pay links, you can now educate your clients on how to use their new bank cards to pay you online. So that's the first pillar to Caribbean e-commerce. The second pillar is having a platform to be able to conduct your business. You need to have some sort of platform for people to be able to come to conduct business with you. So, what are some platforms that we should have in place? Well, the key platform that I recommend everybody should have is a website. I believe that everybody should have a website. No ifs, ands, or buts. Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't want my money to only be made if my presence is needed. I do not want my money to be tied to my presence. I do not want to have to show up and do stuff to make money all the time. I don't. And e-commerce is the lowest barrier to entry for passive income. So what does that mean? If I have my website and I have my products, my services, everything listed out on my website, that means that somebody can come to my platform, see my product, add to cart, and pay me. And I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I have to go use the bathroom, or I gotta go get something. I gotta go get something to drink because I'm parched. And I just happen to check my phone and I see new order, email, new order, email, new order, new order. I'm telling you, that is the greatest feeling ever. The first time in my life where I finally got my e-commerce set up on my website and I got that new order and I seen money in my account at 2 o'clock in the morning, there was no greater feeling that I ever received than seeing that, because I got to realize, wait a minute, I've been sleeping since 8 o'clock and somebody paid me while I was asleep. E-commerce is the lowest barrier to entry to passive income. Simply having a website and your products listed means that people can come to your platform, add to cart at any point in time, and shop with you and give you money. And I don't know who doesn't want to make money while they're sleeping. I don't know what this obsession is with having to physically go somewhere, punch the clock to be able to earn money. No. We not on that type of time. Shout outs to everybody with the 9 to 5. I'm not knocking a 9 to 5. But the owners of the companies are at home sleeping while people are punching the clock. Right? So you, as the business owner for your own business, doesn't matter how small it is, you need to have your platform set up so that people can come to your platform and conduct business with you at any point in time. Please don't be that business that only has social media and I have to DM you in order to find the price. I have to DM you to have, if you have it in stock. I have to DM you to see what your products are. I have to DM you. Like, listen, we're off of that. Don't be that business. We are in 2021. Do not be that business that has everybody DMing them for every bit of information. You guys know all of the frequently asked questions. Nobody goes through highlights on Instagram. We're not going through highlights on Instagram to find out your FAQ. We ain't doing that. I don't think I've ever clicked on a highlight. There are many of us out here who have never clicked on an Instagram highlight. You putting your FAQ in a highlight doesn't mean people are reading it. A lot of us do not click on highlights. We come to your website, we click on your FAQ or we click on your order information. We see what the process is, or when we add to cart and we're filling out all the information, we get to see what the order process is, right? We ain't clicking through 40 slides to see what products you have. I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not clicking through your Instagram highlights to see what products you have. I'm not clicking through to see what free. No, we want to go to your website. I want to be able to see all the products categorized. So I see, one of the things right now, I like feeling good in my own skin. So I've been researching and looking up a lot of companies selling soaps and selling body butters and selling body oils. I don't want to DM you. I want to go to your website. I want to see everything categorized. I want to see it sectioned up. I want to see creams. I want to see body butter. I want to see soap. I want to click on the category so I can see everything within that category and allow me to make an informed decision. And then I want to add to cart. I want to add 3 soaps from here, 2 body butters from here, add to cart and shop. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want you guys to realize that it's easier to shop on Amazon and order from China than it is to do business with you guys down the street. And it can't be that way. It can't be that way. It can't be that way. And everybody in the Caribbean knows that it is easier to shop on Amazon than to shop from half of the companies that are just down the street from us. Why can't I just go to your website, add to cart, and you deliver it to me? Right? If you don't have a website, so we're talking platforms, that second pillar, platforms. If you don't have a website, hey, no problem. You should be looking, depending on what country you're listening from, because we have people from Panama listening, we have people from Barbados, Jamaica, Montserrat, Bermuda. We have a lot of countries across the Caribbean that tune into Digipreneur FM. So I want you guys to look to see if in your country, do you have any marketplace app that allows you to create a store on the marketplace, and that marketplace handles things like the payments and they handle things like logistics. If you do not have a website, and if you are in Trinidad, and you don't have a website and you're not on a marketplace app, then I don't know what you're doing, because there are like 30 plus marketplaces in Trinidad alone, right? So we have a ton of marketplace apps. So if you don't have a website, you could jump on something like an Unq. Shout out to Agriel over at Unq. There's Orderista. There's a bunch of different marketplace apps. There's what is it called? Shop Hub. Food Drop has Shop Hub. I believe that's what it's called. So there's Unq, there's Orderista, there's ShopHub, but these are applications. These are marketplace apps that you sign up for the app, you create your store on the app, and people can come. They download the app, they place their order on the application. The marketplace will handle the payments and they distribute the funds to you. But then they also organize the drivers to get your products from point A to point B. So if you do not have a website, and you have a business and you're selling products, I'm gonna need y'all to jump on any one of the marketplace apps, create your store. That way, if all you have is social media and you're on one of the apps, if you tell me, hey, all of these fancy products that you're seeing on my feed, you could hit the link to go to my store on Unq, then I'm gonna click the link. I'm gonna go into Unq, find your store, add to cart, and then it's going to be delivered to me. And then I'm good. I'm happy. My skin good again. I'm buying all my soaps and body butters and body oils. Right? You need to remove the friction from the buying process. Right? And this is why e-commerce is so critical, because now it opens you up to the bigger markets. If you are selling a product and you are in Jamaica and you are in Trinidad, I'm going to need y'all to check out Carib Shopper. Carib Shopper allows you to list your products on their platform, and they handle payments and logistics directly to the US, to all of the US, Canada, and UK is coming up just now. If you have a product-based business, and you are the creators of the products, if you are in Jamaica or Trinidad, I'm going to need y'all to check out Carib Shopper. You can list your products on their platform. You'll have a store. And when people from anywhere in the US and Canada, when they order the products, Carib Shopper handles the collection of your products, the delivery of your products to anywhere in the US and in Canada, and like I said, upcoming the UK. And then your business will now be able to service international customers. Carib Shopper also pays out in US dollars. US dollars goes further in the Caribbean than it does in the US. So yes, you want to make your US dollars, right? You want to make your US dollars. And for anybody here that's tuning in to my IG live, or you're listening to the actual podcast episode, but if you are in the US, you're in Canada, and you want to order, you miss back home in Jamaica or Trinidad, and you want to order some goods, jump on Carib Shopper, because you can shop the goods, and they're going to collect those items from Trinidad and Jamaica and deliver it right to your house. So you don't have to wait to fly into Jamaica or wait to fly into Trinidad to go and get a taste of home. Just jump on Carib Shopper and they're going to send it to you. So Caribbean businesses, get your business listed on Carib Shopper so you can extend your footprint. All right? And they're handling the payments, they're handling logistics. All right? The other thing you can do in terms of platforms, you could use things like Paylinks and digital invoices. So what a Paylink is you could go to a Paylink provider. You could go to something like a Figaro, Fygaro. You could go to Figaro. You could go to Buzz Shops. Those two companies are Caribbean wide. They're all across the Caribbean and Latin America as well. You could use Social Pay, but only if you are in Trinidad. And what a Paylink is you will go into the whichever platform you decide to use. You create a Paylink. You put the information of the actual product. Whatever the product is, you put the information, you put the value of it, and it generates a clickable link. So when someone clicks on the link, it populates a form that says, hey, you are about to buy cocoa butter, and you have to put in your name. You got to put in the amount of how many you want, and you put in your credit card number, and the Paylink will then debit your credit card for the funds, and you, the business owner, can get an email. You'll get an email notifying you that somebody just purchased cocoa butter via your Paylink. So a Paylink doesn't require you to have a website. I repeat, a Paylink does not require you to have a website. You could just have social media. And if you don't have a website, you could get started with just using Paylinks, right? Create your Paylinks with whatever service provider you want. You can have those listed on your social media. So if you are using Instagram and that's your main platform, Instagram only gives you that one link in your bio where you can click on. So what you can do is you could sign up with a service like Linktree or any other competitor of Linktree. And Linktree gives you your own branded URL. And then when someone clicks on it, it gives you multiple links. So it extends the use of the links in bio for Instagram. So you'll have multiple links. So if you have multiple products, you can create multiple Paylinks in Linktree. So if I'm scrolling through your IG feed and I see your products and you say link in bio to order, I can click on your link in bio. If you're using Linktree, multiple links pop up. I would just go to see what product it is that I want. Click on the link. It pops up a payment form. I put in my information, put the value, the amount that I want, and then I would pay you, right? You would get the notification that I made a payment, and then we organize the delivery, right? And most pay links would have you put in your address in the pay link form itself. That way the business owner has all the information that they need, and then they could just send you out the products. A digital invoice is different from a pay link because a pay link can be used multiple times. So you specifically you put in the information for the pay link. So you put in the product, you put in the value, you put that information in, it generates the link, and it can be used multiple times. A digital invoice is different because a digital invoice is one-time use only. So you could use a company like WePay. WePay allows digital invoices, so you could send out a digital invoice to somebody, create the invoice, put the person's name. It'll generate a link, or you can email it to the person. And when they click on the link, it populates a payment form, but it's one-time use. So after somebody pays that digital invoice, it's effectively closed. So pay links are open. They can be used multiple times, but digital invoices are one-time use. So there's a variety of companies that offer pay links. Figaro, Fygaro, and again, they are Caribbean-wide and also in Latin America. There is Buzz Shops. Buzz Shops is Caribbean-wide and also in Latin America as well. And then if you are in Trinidad and Tobago, you can use SocialPay. SocialPay is only for TNT only. All right, but they have the pay links, and then WePay has digital invoices. So all of these companies have digital invoices. WePay doesn't have pay links like how the other companies do, but WePay does have the digital invoices where you can send them out. And again, they're one-time use. So after somebody pays it, that's it. All right. So that is the second pillar for Caribbean e-commerce. The first was Visa debit cards, understanding that you need to know what it is as a business owner so that your clients can understand how to conduct business with you, and they can use these cards to pay you online. The second pillar is having that platform. You're either going to have a website, or you're going to be using pay links, or you're going to be using digital invoices. All right. Or you jump on, if you have a product-based business, jump on one of the marketplace apps. Create your store, list your products. That way the marketplace itself can handle the payments and the logistics and yada, 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 yada. Right? Right. That leads me to the third key to e-commerce, and that is your payment processor. Now, this is critical to understand your payment processors, because when you are anywhere in the Caribbean and you are Googling things like, when you're Googling for information about payment processors, trying to figure out which one to use within your business, we always get information for the US market. And that's a major problem, because if you take the information from the US market, it is going to lead you down a terrible, terrible road. If you are listening to US people about which website platform to use or which payment processor to use, listen, they are speaking to their markets. They're not speaking to the Caribbean. Heck, we even have people in the Caribbean who are trying to penetrate the US market, and their content, even though they're right here in Trinidad or right here in Jamaica, they're still not creating content for Caribbean businesses. They're creating content for the US market because they're trying to appeal over there. So when you find out about the payment processors, right, when it's coming from a US source or somebody locally who is trying to tap into the US market, that information is going to lead you down the wrong path. So here's what's going on. Payment processors. So the big one that we know about, two big ones we know about, is PayPal and Stripe, right? When we think about getting a website and being and allowing people to pay us online, we think about PayPal or Stripe. And that's usually the first two payment processors. They're the two biggest ones in the world. So obviously, it's only natural that if you don't know about e-commerce, then, Those are the first two things that are going to pop up, and those are what you're going to research, and then you'll start to make your decision about, what platform to use and what to integrate and yada, yada, yada. So the problem with PayPal is if you are in the Caribbean and you have a website, when you are looking at which web platform to build your business on, the first thing you need to understand is which payment processor can work with the platform, and can a Caribbean payment processor work with the platform? Because if you are not thinking payments first when you are creating your website, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening when you find out that people are paying you and you can't get that money. You're in for a rude awakening. I've seen it all. I've seen people send out thousands of dollars on products because they had the money in their PayPal, only to realize that they can't get the money out. So when you hear people talking about platforms like a Wix, like Squarespace, Joomla, Drupal, Webflow, and these platforms are only connecting with PayPal and Stripe, as a Caribbean business owner, you don't want to be on those platforms, because in most Caribbean countries, you cannot receive that money. PayPal has blocked Jamaica from withdrawing money. If you are a Jamaican business owner, you cannot withdraw money from PayPal in Jamaica. PayPal blocked Jamaica. You cannot be a Jamaican business owner and withdraw funds from PayPal in Jamaica. It's blocked. That means you can't use a platform that only uses PayPal as its payment gateway. If you are in Trinidad, PayPal only deposits funds to JMMB Visa debit card, and JMMB only gives out the Visa debit cards to personal bank accounts. They do not give Visa debit cards to business accounts. They only give it to personal accounts. Then there's PSCU Credit Union. They give out Visa debit cards as well. Then there's Venture Credit Union. They give out the Visa debit cards. And then PayPal deposits to Visa credit cards. So it doesn't matter where the credit card comes from. Any one of our institutions except for RBC, because RBC has personally blocked PayPal. They're the only institution in Trinidad that has blocked PayPal from you being able to withdraw funds and deposit to the credit card. RBC has that blocked. They're the only institution to block the withdrawal of funds to their credit cards. But every other bank, every other institution, if once you have a Visa credit card, you can withdraw the funds too. MasterCard does not work. PayPal does not deposit funds to MasterCards in Trinidad and Tobago. So in Jamaica, there's no access. That's 100% blocked. You have no option. You got to go and register a business in the US, or find somebody who would accept the payments on your behalf and then wire the money to you or transfer it over to you. All right. So Jamaica is blocked. Trinidad, PayPal only deposits to JMMB personal Visa debit cards, PSCU Visa debits, Venture Credit Union, and Visa credit cards, except for RBC. RBC has it blocked, and MasterCards are a no-go. PayPal does not deposit funds to a MasterCard in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, across the region, actually. Stripe is a no-go. Stripe does not connect to any of our bank accounts, none of our credit cards in the Caribbean. You can't use Stripe in the Caribbean. There is a way for you to use Stripe Atlas, but that would require you to register your business in the US. And then the minute you do that, it's hello Uncle Sam come tax time. So a lot of people will tell you, well, not a lot of people, but there will be people that tell you, well, if you want to use PayPal, if you want to use Stripe, just go register your business in the US. Yeah, you could do it, but then you got to pay taxes in the US. Right? Right. That brings us to the Caribbean payment processors. So the two big ones are WePay and First Atlantic Commerce. And WePay and First Atlantic Commerce, FAC is the biggest one in the region. They are in almost every single Caribbean country and also in Latin America. So with FAC, you need to go and register through your bank. You need to open up what is called a merchant account. with any of your banks that you have your business account with. They'll go through their process. And once you go through that, they'll open it up. Once you get your FAC, and once you get your merchant account, you could then go over to First Atlantic Commerce and then open up an account with them in order for you to start taking payments online. Or you can register with WePay. And WePay, the process is you just go to their website, submit your documents, and they will approve you, and they will you'll have an account, and you could go and get paid online through WePay. The key here is you need to know which platforms, which web platforms do WePay connect to and which FAC connects to. Because PayPal and Stripe connect to every single web platform. So they connect to Wix, WordPress, Squarespace, Shopify, Joomla, Drupal. They connect to everything. That's Stripe and PayPal. WePay and FAC do not connect to everything, right? So this is why Caribbean businesses need to ensure that they are picking the right payment processor and picking the right web platform. Because if you pick a platform like Wix and sign up with PayPal, and then you realize that you started to sell products and money has gone into this PayPal account you created and you have no way of getting the money out, it's dead money. That money is deader than dead. You cannot send the money out to somebody else's PayPal account. You cannot even use the PayPal balance in the Caribbean to make purchases. That's not a feature for the Caribbean. That feature is for the US. I get asked that a lot. Can I use my PayPal balance to pay for things? Not in the Caribbean. That money has to be deposited to either an approved bank account, and again, Jamaica has none. In Trinidad, it's the ones that I listed, or the Visa credit cards. You could deposit that funds, but you cannot use the PayPal balance to send funds, and you cannot use the PayPal balance to pay for things. So if you pick the wrong platform and use PayPal or Stripe, that money is dead money. So WePay and FAC connect to WordPress. So people would have heard me say the WordPress is the best platform for Caribbean entrepreneurs. I stand behind that because for the number one reason that WordPress is the only platform in the entire region that connects to every single payment gateway. So if you want to use WePay or FAC, it connects. If you want to use PayPal or Stripe because you have a US account and whatnot, it connects. But there's a bit of a learning curve. You may need to have someone build out your platform on WordPress, or you may need to hire a coach or take a course to learn how to build on WordPress, because it's not as easy as a Wix, a Shopify, or Squarespace, because they just operate with templates. WordPress has templates too, and there are ways to use templates. I teach all of my clients. We build our websites on WordPress with no coding involved, and we use templates, right? But again, I teach on WordPress because it's the only platform that connects to every single payment gateway without any problem. If you want to use Shopify, the only payment gateway that connects to Shopify is First Atlantic Commerce. But check this out, folks. For one, Shopify charges you more money to use e-commerce. So with WordPress, I could just take out a hosting package, and hosting for WordPress websites starts at $3 US a month. And WordPress does not charge you more if you integrate a payment gateway on your platform. Shopify does, Wix does, Squarespace does. When you are using e-commerce on those platforms, they charge you a higher subscription fee. So for Shopify, because FAC connects to Shopify, you could use Shopify. But for one, their packages start at, I believe, 30 US a month, right, for e-commerce. Then you have to go to the bank to open up a merchant account. The merchant account in every single country across the Caribbean is 100 US per month. Merchant accounts are 100 US per month. So when you open up the merchant account, you then have to go to First Atlantic Commerce to open up your account over there. And First Atlantic Commerce has their transaction fees. So First Atlantic Commerce transaction fees are 3% plus 25 cents per transaction, and all of their fees are in US dollars. So that's 100 US to the bank per month for the merchant account. Then you have the 3% plus 25 cents per transaction from First Atlantic Commerce. And then to connect First Atlantic Commerce to Shopify, you need a bridge. You need an integration bridge. And the company that makes that integration bridge is called WebGold. WebGold charges you $290 US per year for the license for that integration for First Atlantic Commerce to Shopify. So you could use Shopify anywhere in the Caribbean, Jamaica, Barbados, Antigua, anywhere in the Caribbean, Trinidad, anywhere in the Caribbean, you could use Shopify. But Shopify only connects to First Atlantic Commerce. And if you're using First Atlantic Commerce, that means you got to go to the bank, open a merchant account, 100 US dollars. Then you got to open your First Atlantic Commerce account. That is 3% plus 25 cents per transaction. Those fees are in US dollars. And then you need to get the bridge, the integration bridge from WebGold, and that's $290 US a year. So that's a lot of money to shell out before you even get started. If you have the capital, if you have the money to go ahead and do it, great. Go ahead and use Shopify, sign up at First Atlantic Commerce, go ahead and get that done. If you are somebody who does not have the money to be able to pay for that, then Shopify is not the platform for you because you're not going to be able to take credit card payments. To me, it makes absolutely no sense. You build out a website on Shopify and you can't take payments. You still have people DMing you or doing bank transfers. That means you still got to talk to me. I love y'all, but I don't want to talk to y'all all the time. I don't want to talk to y'all to be able to sell you a product. Y'all don't talk to Jeff Bezos to order products. I don't want y'all talking to me to order products. I just want you to be able to go to my platform, click, add to cart, times 2, checkout. That's what I want. That's all I want. And for my live audience tuning in on IG Live, if that's what you want, please give me some hearts. Let me know that you're here. Give me some hearts. Let me know if that is what you guys want. And for those tuning in to the Digipreneur podcast, if that's what you want, please give me a yes. Just say to yourself, yes, yes, that is what I want. We want to remove the friction from the buyer process, right? So if you have WordPress, it is free to integrate WePay. There is no cost to integrate WePay into WordPress. There is no cost to integrate WePay into WordPress. And we're not just talking to Trinidad. This is for the entire Caribbean. Anywhere that WePay is available, you can set up a WordPress website and integrate WePay. WePay also recently just launched their WeShops platform. Their WeShops platform is built on the Equid platform, and they allow you to build a website for free. You can build a free website on WeShops for free. What they charge you for, they charge you a subscription if you want to integrate e-commerce, and then they have a different fee structure depending on which package you take out for e-commerce. So WeShops is another good platform to check out because, again, it's Caribbean made. You can upload your products, pick your templates. It's built on Equid. Pick your templates, add your products in, add your business information in, and then people will be able to pay you and you'll be able to receive your money without any hassle. So if you're using WordPress, WePay is free to integrate, and then their fees are, I think that's like 3.5% TT dollars or whatever country that you are in. The fee structure may vary depending on what country you're in for WePay, but you can go to their website and you can check that out. But it's free to integrate. There's no monthly fee. So if you don't make no money, you don't pay WePay, and no money comes out from WePay. If you go the FAC route, right, there is the monthly fee from the bank. So the bank still taking their money. Whether you make money or not, they're still taking their money. If you go on a marketplace platform like Planting Seeds is in Trinidad. And depending on which country you're in, there's I'm more than likely sure that there's marketplaces there. Some of these marketplaces are charging you subscription fees. So whether you sell or not, they're still charging you their money. All right, so you have to keep that in mind if you're going the route of getting on some of these marketplaces. If there is a subscription fee, are you able to pay for your subscription fee to be on the platform? I go with WordPress because WordPress connects to every single payment gateway. If I don't sell nothing, WePay doesn't charge me, and my fee to keep my WordPress website alive is $3 a month. That's it. And I can sustain that. If I make $100,000 in sales for that month, it's still the $3 for the hosting. And WePay would just charge their 3% plus, I think it's $3 TT per transaction. Right? So again, understanding your payment processors, that's the third key. Right? That's the third key. PayPal, Stripe, we have problems in the region. Unless you have a US account, but we have problems in the region with them. We have WePay, we have First Atlantic Commerce. If you are in Trinidad only, you guys could use Social Pay. That's another payment processor to integrate into your WordPress website. And they operate very similar like WePay. There's not a monthly fee. They charge you per transaction. All right. Another platform you guys can check out, and this is regional, this is across the region of Latin America, is Figaro, Fygaro. Figaro allows you to create your website. They integrate First Atlantic Commerce and PayPal into the platform for payment processors. So you would have to organize FAC in order to use Figaro. But I'm just letting you know your options. Just letting you know your options. All right? Just letting you guys know. Don't shoot the messenger. Just letting y'all know. Y'all can use Figaro. Figaro is a really good platform. But you would have to set up First Atlantic Commerce to integrate into Figaro or PayPal into Figaro. Again, because they are regional and they're also in Latin America. So you have those options. I tell you why I use WordPress. Integrates with everything. I integrated with WePay. I don't pay a monthly fee for WePay. There is a when you're using WePay, I lost my train of thought for a second. I use WordPress. I pay $3 a month for hosting, integrate WePay, and that is free. And there's a wide variety of hosting companies on the market, right? What I implore everybody to do is jump on Google and type in top WordPress hosting companies, because not all hosts are made equally. There are companies that specialize in different types of setups. So for WordPress, there are companies that specialize in WordPress hosting. So type in top WordPress host for 2021, because they all get ranked by all the different companies in the world that offer awards that give you guys the rankings. So the hosting companies that I predominantly use when I'm working for myself or working with clients, I use HostGator, I use SiteGround, I also use Overmill. Overmill is who I currently use for my personal websites. But I use HostGator for my clients. I use SiteGround for my clients as well. And I use those companies because they all offer some critical things. They give you guys SSL certificates for free. They give you guys CDNs for free. All of that is included in your packages. They do regular backups. Technical service is 24/7. So check out HostGator, check out SiteGround. All right? So that's the third key for payment processors. PayPal, Stripe, WePay, First Atlantic Commerce, Social Pay, all right? And then we kind of touched on Figaro. So let's get into that fourth key. The fourth key, and again, and for those who are tuning in to my IG Live, this is a recording for the Digipreneur FM podcast. I wanted to take you guys on a journey with me And for the Digipreneur FM family, again, I love the fact that you guys are here. You guys have your notepads out. You guys are learning. We have a lot of fun. The feedback for the podcast has been great so far. So the fourth key to e-commerce that you need to have in your business for a successful e-commerce business, or just to be able to have an online presence on your platform and be able to service your clientele. That fourth key is logistics. You need to have an excellent logistics partner to get your products from point A to point B. Whether that is digital products, you need to ensure that your platform or your integrations allow for digital product delivery. Or if you have a physical product, then you need to ensure that your logistics partner is on point. You want to be able that when somebody comes to your website, they add to cart. You can create your request for your logistics partner to come through, collect your item, and deliver it. So here in Trinidad, the company that I use, my logistics partner, and shout out to this company because they hold me down. They hold me down. Company called SPEDTT, SPEDTT. So here in Trinidad, that is my logistics partner. I love their platform because when the orders come in, I go to their website, I log into my account, I create the request. Depending on what time I've created that request, they either send a driver that evening or the very next morning. They come to my house, they collect it. They also offer packaging as an additional service. So they could either bag your items for an additional service or an additional cost, or they can box your items for an additional cost. So if you are somebody like me where I have not gone out and created my own boxes and bags and whatnot, right? They bag it for me. So I just hand them the products. I just say, yo, here you go. They take my items and they bag it at the warehouse. And then they have online tracking. So because I've created the request online, once they collect it, my client gets an email and they get a text message saying there's an item that's going to be coming out to you. And then when they are on the way to deliver the item to the client, they send the client a text message and an email saying your item is on the way. A driver will contact you shortly. If you use platforms like, if you use any one of the platforms like an Unqueue or an Orderista or any, depending on what country you are in, if your logistics partner is a marketplace app and they have the drivers on the app, then as soon as somebody orders the product, then that person just has to check the app for the status of the order. And then when somebody collects it and it's on the way to them, they'd be able to track where the driver is, who the driver is, all that good stuff right on the app. So when you order products on Unqueue, you get to see who the driver is and you get to track where they are. Right? So having a good logistics partner, depending on your business model, right? And that's what it really comes down to. What is your business model? So if you have a website, you're shipping within your country only, use a local courier. There's so many of these local logistics partners popping up. There's Sped, there's Island Dropper, there's I don't have my phone. My phone is live. That's what's going on. I have a bunch of different logistics partners screenshot, and I just want to go check them out just to understand, their entire flow. So if I ever wanted to try them out, or again if I want to make recommendations, I have them there. Usually I would have had my phone handy, but no worries. I'll probably put that in the show notes. I'll list out some of the other logistics partners in the show notes. If you guys are shipping international, you guys can use a DHL or a FedEx. And DHL, FedEx, UPS or USPS in Trinidad, these all connect to WordPress. They connect to Shopify. I believe they connect to Squarespace as well. But again, Squarespace, we have the issues with the payment gateway. So, double check on that. But for Shopify and WordPress, all the logistics partners connect to Shopify and WordPress directly to your website. All right. So again, having that, understanding a logistics partner, critical. Once you have all four of those things down packed, your business, all you now need to do is start to market your business. But when people come to your platform, the process to do business with you is going to be seamless. So for Visa debit cards, so we're going to run through the 4 keys again. So the first thing is, understanding as a business owner the importance of Visa debit cards. Visa debit cards now allow regular citizens that do not have credit cards to be able to come onto your website, use any one of the marketplace apps, use pay links or use digital invoices, and they can use their regular Visa debit cards to pay you online. So because all of the banks are rolling that out, now you have more eligible people that can pay you online. Don't DM me to place an order. No. Hit the link in bio. Add to cart. Booyah. Place your order. I'll see that in the morning or at 2 a.m. when I go to get a nice refreshing beverage and I see, I made some money. I'll organize your order in the morning. But you don't got to talk to me to place the order. And you don't want to tie. And as a business owner, you don't want to tie the money that you make to your presence. You want to be able to create a product and it sell at any point in time. You don't want to have your money tied to your presence. You have to wake up and punch the clock in your own business to be able to make money. We try to get beyond that. Because the only way to scale your time is by charging more money. And not everybody's in the position to just jump out and charge more money for their service. So understand e-commerce, right? Next key, the next pillar is understanding your platforms. So you have your websites, you have pay links, you have digital invoices, you have the marketplace apps. People download these apps on Android or their iOS devices. And you have a store on those apps and people can place the orders on the apps. Understanding your platform. I believe everybody should have a website. And if you do not have a website, you best have pay links. I do not want to fill out a Google form. Don't do me that. Don't do me that. Don't have me see all of your goods in your social media and I get enticed and I have lost I might be having a nice strong beverage and I might just be in a different zone. I might want to shop. And I go hit the link in your bio and I'm presented with a Google form. And on that Google form, it says, you have to wait 24 to 48 hours for a response from the business. Don't do me that. Because the beverage is going to wear off. And if that beverage wears off and I have not paid you, the sale is gone. The sale is gone. It went. I have come to my senses. I all of a sudden have things to do with my money. I can't buy soaps anymore. If you have a Google form for me to fill out, and then you're going to tell me I have to wait 24 to 48, and some of y'all are not even responding in 2 days. Some of y'all are responding to these orders like 4 or 5 days from now. The money spent somewhere else. It's gone. My strong beverage has worn off. I am no longer in the impulse buying mood. All right? So set your business up correct. Make sure you have either a website, make sure you're on an application that allows to take payments and delivery. Use pay links if you only have social media. Use pay links, please. Use pay links. Sign up with the platform that uses digital invoices. If you are a service provider and you need to send out those digital invoices to get paid by credit card. All right, cool. Third pillar, payment processor. So your PayPal, your Stripe, again, in the region, we have downfalls with that. You want to make sure that you are using something like a WePay, a First Atlantic Commerce. If you are in Trinidad and Tobago, you can check out Social Pay. Look at those 3 platforms for payment processors. See which ones they integrate with. All right. WordPress Everything integrates into WordPress. Every other platform, and again, this is no knock to any other platform, but again, we're business owners. We got to get paid. You need to make sure that you can get paid on the platform. If you have Wix and you have a US account and you can get paid, hey, knock yourself out. Go use Wix. But if you are a Caribbean business owner, you do not have a registered business in the US or a US bank account, then you need to understand who our Caribbean payment processors integrate with and what is it going to cost you to integrate into those platforms. And the fourth key is logistics. Having a logistics partner to get your products from point A to point B if it's physical. If it's digital products, Amazon's a great platform where people can go to the platform and purchase things like ebooks. There is a platform that I use. It's called Get DPD. Please, mine's out the gutter. Get DPD, Get Digital Product Delivery. They're an online platform that specializes in digital product delivery. You guys can check those things out. And if you have a WordPress website, you could use WooCommerce. WooCommerce allows you to do digital product delivery. If you're using Figaro, same thing. WeShops does allow for digital products as well. So again, we do have some platforms that allow for you to upload your digital products and people can make the purchases and get the automatic download, and your properties are protected because they're set up to protect your digital product delivery, all right? So that brings me to the end of this episode on the 4 keys to Caribbean e-commerce. Folks, please, sharing is caring. If you have any friends, family, if you know other business owners that need this information, please share the podcast episode for them. This episode may literally save someone's business, which in turn might save somebody's life. All right. This information is what is needed to grow businesses across the region so that we can begin to participate in the global economy. We have platforms like a Carib Shopper where your products can get listed specifically to get your products into the hands of international clients and you to earn US dollars. There are people here that need to know that information. You could be saving a life with this type of information. Before you guys go, please rate the podcast on any of your favorite podcast players, whether it is Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Stitcher, whichever. You guys rate it. Please drop a review. The reviews help. It helps grow the podcast. And again, we're trying to get the Digipreneur FM into more households, into more ears. That way we can help the Caribbean region grow. Folks, my name is Karen Rose, and it was a pleasure talking to you guys today. I want you guys to take care.
You've been listening to the Digiboss, Karan Rose. We hope your notepad was filled after this episode. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. The learning doesn't stop, folks. And to make sure you don't miss any gems from the Digiboss, go over and follow him on all social media platforms at Karan Rose. Folks, don't just sit there with a notepad. We need you to implement at least one thing into your business before the next episode. That's the only way your business levels up. Thanks for listening to Digipreneur FM. Now go be great.